guys! Welcome to Dark Side Stories Student Edition, where we dive deep into the stories that matter, shedding light on the human experiences that often go untold.
I am Husna,
And me, Shifa.
and today we have very special and insightful episode lined up for you guys. Wait.
Welcome to the Dark Side Bulletin, which today we will bring the interesting news, which is HIV. HIV likely originated from immunodeficiency viruses that found in non-human primates in Central and West Africa. The exact circumstances of its cross-species transmission to humans are still debated, but it is believed to have occurred through the butchering and consumption of infected chimpanzees or monkeys. And it was reported that the first recognized cases of HIV occurred in the early 1980s. What is HIV? HIV is a virus that weakens the immune system by targeting the white blood cell called CD4 cells. It spreads through bodily fluids via the exchange of a variety of body fluids from people living with the HIV, such as blood, breast milk, semen, and vaginal infections. HIV virus progress through three stages, which are acute infection, chronic infection, and acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, which is the 8th stage. Early diagnosis is crucial, and where there is no cure, antiretrovirus therapy or AID can effectively manage the virus from getting worse. The HIV infection starts with infecting CD4 positive T cells, dendritic cells, and macrophage by binding to CD4 cell specific receptors, and once it's into the cell, it will start to replicate. As HIV replicates and destroys CD4 positive T cells, the immune system becomes progressively weakened and leads to the decline of body ability to fight off the infections. The individual becomes susceptible and opportunistic infections and other complications and leads to development of AIDS. This chronic infections contributes on ongoing immune system dysfunction and progressive damage over time. Well, that's all for now. We will continue after the advertisement.
Our guest today is someone who has navigated the challenging and transformative journey of living with HIV. To protect their privacy, we will be keeping their identity anonymous. They are here to share their personal experience, revealing the realities surrounding HIV. Please join me in welcoming our guest. Thank you so much for being here and for your willingness to share your story.
Thank you, Shifa. I'm really glad to be here and share my experience with my listeners.
To start off, can you take us back to when you first received your diagnosis? What was that experience like for you and how did it change your life?
Before I start any further, my name is Evia, and it's my second year since I've been diagnosed as HIV patient, and I am still undergoing therapy and medicines. This is still not the worst stage of HIV, and still don't have any sign of AIDS. First ever diagnosis I have received is when me and my partner are planning to hold a wedding. As we know, before proceeding to the next step, we are required and is obligated to do the HIV test. That's when everything was revealed.
It was all started when I came all the way from my hometown to Kuala Lumpur for my work. Unfortunately, it was really hard to find a house, and a rent for a house is crazily expensive. Luckily, one of my colleagues offered me to stay with her at her place, which is a flat, since she also looking for a company and a housemate. During my work, I fell in love with my workmates, Yusri. At first, it was just an ordinary relationship, where we just casually talking, sharing opinion, and listening to each other. But as the time goes by, our relationship goes deeper, started getting serious, and we became more comfortable with each other. One day, I invited him to my place since my other housemates were on holiday. I just acted like I'm scared to be alone, but on the other hand, I just want to be with him. He agreed to stay and accompany me that night. As night went darker, we began to make love. He dumped me after 2 months since that incident happened. But God always knows the best, and I met another man that can fully accept me, my history, and my condition. We were decided and planned to get married. HIV has changed my life in various ways, For instance, my future husband's family not accepted me when they knew I had HIV. And what make it even sadder, that we forced to cancel our wedding plan. It really broke me to the million pieces and made me realize that mistake will ruin and destroy my future. My doctor always advised me to find someone that willingly to accept me as their partner and family. So I decided I won't ever get married for my whole life since I am already accepted of it. Now I just living my life to the fullest to make myself happier and healthier.
Hello there, I'm Avina and you're tuning in to Dark Side Bulletin. There are several impacts of HIV to humans in terms of health, social economy, and emotion. In terms of health, HIV weakens the immune system, making individuals more susceptible to infections and diseases. HIV or AIDS can lead to a range of health complications, including but not limited to pneumonia, tuberculosis, Kaposi sarcoma, and neurological disorders. While for socioeconomy, individuals living with HIV or AIDS may face challenges in maintaining employment due to health issues, discrimination, or stigma. Families may struggle financially due to medical expenses, loss of income, and caregiving responsibilities. And lastly, in terms of emotion, stigma and discrimination associated with HIV or AIDS can exacerbate emotional distress, leading to social isolation and decreased quality of life. Disclosure of HIV status may lead to the fear of rejection or discrimination from family, friends, and society. The measures taken by the authorities to curb this virus, including the government has introduced a safe blood program to screen all blood donations in an effort to ensure that all donated blood is HIV-free. Premarital HIV screening programs to prevent and reduce HIV transmission between heterosexual married couples, encouraging couples to know your HIV status before marriage. Malaysia's Ministry of Health Education Unit launched the Healthy Living Without AIDS for Youth program or Program Sihat Tanpa AIDS untuk Remaja, ProStar. The program targeted youth between the ages of 13 to 25. Its main objective was to raise awareness of HIV or AIDS and its prevention among teenagers. That's all news for today. With that, I'm Afrina. Thank you for tuning in Dark Side Bulletin and take care.
Hi, welcome back to Dark Side Story Student Edition. So right now, we are with another guest who are also diagnosed with HIV. Before we start, can you introduce yourself? What is your name? How old are you? And maybe a little about your family background.
My name is Aishi. You can call me Ash, and I am 18 years old. My parents have been divorced for almost 2 years. I have one brother. I usually fail in my examination.
Okay, Ash, can you share with us about how can you involve with drug addiction?
I am a child who is not very good in my studies and considered a burden by my parents. One day, I got terrible result in my trial SPM exams, failing all subjects. My mother was very angry and disappointed with me to the point that she was willing to kick me out of the house. I felt very burdened and sad because my mother was willing to throw me out for being a useless child. Then I ran in the pouring rain. I felt very sad because I had no place to take shelter. Was it wrong for me to be born stupid? After that, I took shelter at bus station stop to rest for a while. After a few hours, a woman approached me and asked about my situation. Her name was Shiv. Shiv asked about my condition and said that she could make me happy and take away the sadness I was experiencing. Yes, I agree to follow Shiv. Then Shiv took me to a very dark and unfamiliar place. She introduced me to two of her friends, Tony and Dragon. Next, Tony and Dragon gave Shiv a strange powder for me. Shiv taught me how to use it properly. I was confused and I just follow shift instructions. Since then, whenever I felt stressed, I would get a supply of drugs from Tony and Dragon. Inevitably, I became a hardcore drug addict.
Oh, I see. So you were addicted to drugs because you were abandoned by your family and feel left out. It must be hard for you to face it. But may I know, how did you find out that you are also diagnosed with HIV?
One day, I felt very weak and fainted by the roadside. Fortunately, a woman nearby saw me collapse. She immediately approached me to check on my condition and call an ambulance for help. I was taken to the hospital. After the doctor examined me, I found out that I was HIV positive.
Hello there, and you're tuning in to Dark Side Bulletin. Additional interesting facts about HIV. One misconception that stubbornly endures is that only gay men can get HIV. It's true that in the United States, gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men, MSM, continue to have the greatest risk of HIV infection. In 2020, MSM accounted for an estimated 71% of new HIV diagnoses, according to the federal government website. HIV is a virus that attacks the body's immune system and is spread through certain body fluids, including breast milk. Transmission to the baby can occur during pregnancy or birth, or when breastfeeding. Antiretroviral therapy, ART, substantially reduces the risk of transmission to the baby. Fortunately, the risk of transmitting HIV through breast milk can be reduced by replacing breastfeeding with properly prepared formula or pasteurized donor human milk from a milk bank. This eliminates the risk of HIV transmission to the infant after birth. Post-exposure prophylaxis, PEP, means taking HIV vaccine within 72 hours, which is 3 days, after a possible exposure to HIV to prevent HIV. PEP should be used only in emergency situations. It is not meant for regular use by people who have been exposed to HIV frequently. The sooner PEP is started after a possible HIV exposure, the better. Every hour counts. If you are prescribed PEP, you will have HIV vaccine every day for 28 days. PEP is effective in preventing HIV when it is taken correctly. That's all sharing for today. With that, I'm Afrina, and thank you for tuning in, and take care.
Okay, that's all for today's episode. Thank you for watching.
See you guys in the next video. Bye!
Tapi nanti nampak garu-garu sikit. Hai. Lah, kebulan. Apa tu?